remarkable achievement in research also. She has been invited for various speeches all over India, and she's a member of various professional or recognized bodies. Also, I introduce our second speaker for today, Ms. Vindhyashri. She's a founder of InnoSmart EduTech. She's a postgraduate in techno entrepreneurship and innovation from Singapore, which also has an immense uh, which also had an immersion program to Stanford University, USA. She has had an experience of 4 years in industry and academia with two successful startups in Bangalore. Um, Currently, she's an SME in design thinking for Learning Mate. She has also worked as a guest faculty in various colleges around Bangalore. She has had an opportunity to set the curriculum for Bangalore Central University on ideation, design thinking, and innovation. She has been a certified trainer all over, and she's given a lot of training about design thinking and image building. She believes that empathy is the key for all future innovations, and that's what she aims to deliver through her training programs. We welcome you both here. And, today's session, I think Sandhya ma'am is going to deliberate on entrepreneurship, and then taken over by then Vindhya ma'am, who's going to deliver on innovation. Thank you. Over to you, ma'am, Sandhya ma'am. Ma'am, you're not audible. I think you're muted.
So good morning, everyone. I congratulate the management for considering this series of lectures, and thanks for inviting as a resource person. And thanks, Soumya, for the wonderful introduction. I'll just share the screen so that we'll start with the presentation. I welcome you all for the presentation on entrepreneurship as a career. Today, we are going to start and look through a 5-pointer agenda here, understanding entrepreneurship, why entrepreneurship as a career option, then career opportunities as an entrepreneur, startup ecosystem, understanding the new era of entrepreneurship, and the various government schemes that every entrepreneur should know. So this is the agenda for today's session. As we all know that in the past 2 years, the only constant for small business owners has been change. Thousands of business changed their business models on the outset of the pandemic, introducing new products or services and also embracing new channels to reach their customers. 1,000 more launched new businesses altogether, spotting untapped opportunities in our new normal. In this scenario, the one question in front of us is, what do you prefer? Building your own dreams or getting hired by someone to help them build theirs? Whether you want to be a wage employment or you want to be your own boss through entrepreneurship. So one fortunate aspect, or we can say the byproduct of the pandemic, was an outpouring of creativity. Around the world, people re-examine previously held assumptions, like the need to conduct some business exclusively in person, and new, exciting ideas in business were born. This effectively redefined what it means to be an entrepreneur, adding more diversity to the small business space. Once a business idea is generated, an entrepreneur has to undertake many activities to transform into reality. Today, the biggest challenge before the youth in the country is to build the country as an economic global giant. The obvious questions that comes to the mind of most of them are, why should we think of being an entrepreneur? Why not work as a part of a larger organization where the opportunities and resources to scale ideas are probably far greater? So when we look at the entrepreneurship, it has two important reasons. It promotes innovation to find new solutions to existing and emerging demands, and it also provides greater opportunities for wealth creation, not for self alone, and but also for society by large than anything else. Entrepreneurship has its own challenges with all the pros. It is about 20% luck and 80% effort, which needs clarity, courage, confidence, passion, and above all, smartness. When we start to understand what is entrepreneurship, who is an entrepreneur, entrepreneurship involves designing of business ideas followed by launching and running a new business. Typically, we can say it begins as a small business such as a startup or a company. So entrepreneurship is a procedure of designing, beginning and running a new business. In a simple way, we can say that entrepreneurship means creating new things rather than sticking to conventional job business. And the owners of such ventures are referred as entrepreneurs. Now, the question comes to understand why entrepreneurship is important. There's no doubt that entrepreneurship can greatly impact the economy of a nation. Hence, entrepreneurs are often considered to be national assets who are motivated and remunerated through various government policies. This is primarily because a great entrepreneur has the capacity to completely change the way we live and work. They can not only improve our standard of living, but they can also actively contribute to the growth of the economy. As we see, few of the predominant aspects of understanding entrepreneurship or seeing the relevance of it is it creates job opportunities. It's no secret that entrepreneurship greatly contributes to increasing job opportunities in the country. Moreover, as they provide entry-level jobs, it creates a great benefit of unskilled workers to get trained and gain experience. It also boosts and creates a social impact. As we know, most of the entrepreneurs are givers. They have struggled and worked hard to attain success, and hence they try to make the life of others easier. Entrepreneurship helps to boost the economy. When new products and services are introduced in the market through entrepreneurship, a cascading effect takes place. This causes related business and sectors an opportunity to grow, thereby boosting the whole of the economic development. It also increases the standard of living and helps to encourage innovation.
Excuse me, ma'am. Actually, the slide is not moving. Will you please check?
Is it?
Yes, ma'am. It's still in the first slide.
Now?
Yeah, now it moved.
Is it moving? Is
Yes,
it
ma'am.
moving?
Second one. It's
Now?
moving now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So when we look at the careers options or why millennials are being attracted towards making a career in entrepreneurship, an entrepreneur's careers usually revolves around taking risks, planning, organizing, streamlining, leading, and managing business ventures in the competitive world. Some of the punchy reasons why entrepreneurship appeals so much to the millennials as a career option are to be their own boss and run their own show. So most of the people wish to be their own boss. and to generate an idea that could solve people's problems and to execute a business plan for the ground up. It also creates new job opportunities, helps to earn money, to explore all facets of business, maybe from sales, marketing, human resource, finance, product, project management, administration, and even customer support. And it helps to be associated with other like-minded people who share the same flying opportunity and passion for product and business. So, entrepreneurship is a field that bursts open a world of opportunities for people who are smart, hardworking, creative, business savvy, and systematic. So, when we speak about the career opportunities as an entrepreneur, entrepreneurship covers a range of different career opportunities, from creating business to thinking innovatively in a corporate setting, to approaching your career in an enterprising way, and starting a new venture, joining existing ventures, or business incubators and accelerators, or corporate entrepreneurship or entrepreneurship. When we refer to the new ventures, it's as a startup founder or a small business owner. The focus might be creating a company or a franchise or starting a new venture or business line within an existing enterprise or commercializing a technology or a piece of research. Or as an existing startup, many future business owners can gain vital experience, which may include working for a startup, which may be related to fields like education, media, advertising, etc. Or it could also mean joining your own family business. So business incubator and accelerators are those companies that help new and startup companies to develop, like by seed funding or providing services as management training or office space. So corporate entrepreneurship and entrepreneurship are the institutions across every sector which are affected by the disruptive technologies. So when we look at the new era of entrepreneurship and listen to the success stories of the successful entrepreneurs, we have entrepreneurs who were successful like Mark Zuckerberg. I don't think his names need any introduction. He was the founder of Facebook and one of the youngest successful entrepreneurs. He started from a zero and today is a billionaire. His story inspires everyone and helps us to try something new. And we have Jack Ma. He tried more than 30 times and was rejected every time. And finally, when he was 35, he got successful just because of Alibaba. His story is really inspiring and was hard to him to arrange his beard. But today, the world knows him. Bill Gates. He was a college dropout, but his dreams and ideas never stopped him. And today, he is marked as one of the richest people in the world. His company, Microsoft, is still one of the top leading software companies. Recently, we have heard about Falguni Nair, a female entrepreneur, and she started Nike in the year 2012. And today, she doesn't even need an introduction. Her work speaks louder than her words, and being a woman, it was not so easy for her to achieve this. Still, her belief and hard work brought fame and money both to her. In the young entrepreneur sector, we have Sachin Bansal, who started Flipkart, and hardly very few knew about it. It was his hard work and as well as the success plan that he is known as one of the most successful entrepreneurs of today. So when we try to understand the startup ecosystem, right now, India is in the midst of a startup boom, whose magnitude and scale has surpassed all the previous records. NASSCOM has recently declared India as the fastest growing startup ecosystem in the world and the world's third largest technology startup ecosystem. Today, India is witnessing a startup boom across all sectors, covering every possible niche such as health, manufacturing, IT, robotics, services, automobiles, food, grocery, and many more, including technology, innovation, health, robotics, automobiles, food, education, and so on. There are more than 50,000 startups currently in India, and as per the recent estimations, our country will add another 50,000 by 2024. These are the unicorn clubs that the nation has witnessed from 2018 to 2019 to 2020. And recently, India has included 10 more unicorns in 2021. And these ecosystems of the startups has given a breakthrough which has happened in the field of entrepreneurship and has given a wide opportunity not only in the tech field, in health tech, in ad tech, in retail tech, in pro tech, in agri tech, in education tech, in biotech, in food tech, green tech, travel tech, fintech, math tech, and insurtech. So this shows the phenomenal growth of the startups and the available career opportunities for entrepreneurs to venture in. These are all few of the examples of the various startups: Zomato, Swiggy, Coursera. Then we have the ad tech companies, the Simple Learn. So to encourage these budding entrepreneurs and to kickstart an innovative business that will eventually create employment opportunities, the government offers various schemes to make the process easy. These schemes provide financial assistance to potential individuals and organizations in the form of subsidies and loans. So in the past few years, Government of India has initiated several schemes and programs whose basic objective is to help the startups and give more push to the culture of entrepreneurship among Indians. And few of the grants or the schemes which are very prominent in encouraging entrepreneurship are Startup India Initiative, EBITS Portal, Atal Incubation Centers, schemes of support for international patent protection in electronics and information technology, Mudra banks, multi-peer grants schemes, Credit Guarantee Fund Trust for MSCs, software technology parks, Newgen Innovation and Entrepreneurship Development Centers, dairy processing and infrastructure development, and many more. So basically, MSGs for IT research and development was launched by the Department of Electronics and Information Technology. It encourages R&D between industry and academia for development of products and packages. This is more applicable and suitable in industries which work with artificial intelligence, technology, hardware, Internet of Things, IT services, enterprise softwares, and analytics. Then modified special incentive package schemes, MSIPs, launched by Department of Electronics and Information Technology and supported by the Center for Development of Advanced Computing, CDAC, aims to promote large-scale manufacturing in the electronic system design and manufacturing. Besides infusing the startups with funds for expansion, these MSIPs will also provide subsidy up to 25% in established office research centers sets across the nation. And these are applicable in industries like IT hardware, automobiles, healthcare, semiconductors, processors, LEDs, LCDs, industrial electronics, nanoelectronics, biotech, strategic electronics, telecom, and many more. The virtual capital assistance schemes provided by the Government of India, which was launched by Small Farmers Agribusiness Consortium, aims to assist agricultural-based entrepreneurs to kickstart their agribusiness. It is tied up with almost more than 42 banks, which help them to disperse interest-free loans to farmers, partnership firms, and help self-help groups, agricultural pass-out graduates, agripreneurs, producer groups, and companies. The credit guarantee schemes of the Government of India launched the unique government scheme to help assist retailers, educational institutes, self-help groups, farmers, and SEMs. Basically, the credit guarantee scheme has been launched to smoothly or smoothen the credit delivery system as guarantee cover up to 85% up to provide SMEs and up to loan of 5 lakh rupees. And this is applicable to almost all the SMEs. The infrastructure development schemes provided launched this unique scheme to help startups establish their own offices and infrastructure. However, only those companies which fall under the official definition of the startups as highlighted by the Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises can avail this grant. Startups which are not recognized with Software Technology Parks of India scheme can now get office space ranging from 467 square feet to 8,657 square feet. And this scheme is applicable to all industries. The MSME market development scheme is not specific to any industry, but applicable to SMEs, retailers, and startups. The credit linked capacity subsidiary for technology upgradation is specifically useful and applicable for industries like khadi, village, coir industry, manufacturing, small scale industry, and SMEs. One of the prominent government schemes, the Atal Incubation Center, headed by Atal Innovation Mission, aims to promote innovation and entrepreneurship in India. Approved startups can get funding up to 10 crore for a maximum expenses. It is applicable to various industries which are into AI, automobiles, telecom, healthcare, aeronautics, aviation, nanotechnology, pet MLs, ID, computers, designs, non-renewable energies, social impact industries, food and more. The eBiz portal. So eBiz was first electronic government business portal which was founded in the year 2013. The main purpose of this portal was to transform and develop a conducive business environment in the country. eBiz portal was developed by Infosys in a public-private partnership model. It was basically designed as a communication center for investors and business communities in India. So these are few of the very prominent government schemes that each entrepreneur should be aware of. There are a few more support system extended by the government of India, like Startup India, grants of up to 5 crores, then providing a corpus fund, grants for proof, and several other SOPs like free legal support, tax exemptions, and faster exit norms. So this help as a capsule to the aspiring entrepreneurs to look out for various career opportunities to be explored across the industries.
Thank you very much, Sandhya ma'am. It was a good session. Ma'am, do we take question and answer now or do we continue?
I feel you can continue with the next resource person. So after complete session, we can have the Q&A.
Okay, all right. So now I just welcome the next speaker, Vindya Nakendra ma'am.
Yes, thank you for your wonderful introduction, Soumya ma'am. So, yeah, let me just share my screen. Give me a second. Okay. So a very good morning to all the students here and everybody else. So I'm sure we should thank Sandhya ma'am for giving us a wonderful insight into entrepreneurship. Well, now I will take you all through what is innovation and how innovation will help you to form a career or to, towards taking a step towards being an entrepreneur. So I'm just sharing my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes, the screen is visible.
Yeah. Okay. So first, when we talk about innovation, I would first say it's very important to know what innovation means. So there's a video.
Life is made up of dots. Many, in fact most people, believe that the dots they see every day are all the dots there are. So life goes along according to these known dots. Decisions and solutions are based on these commonly known dots, as well as many conclusions too. Some companies build their entire businesses on these known dots. This we know as the status quo, business as usual. Then one day, someone comes along and sees one or more dots beyond the commonly agreed upon dots. Dots that others missed, dots that are ignored, dots that others have long since forgotten about. Some like these new dots and celebrate this new discovery. Liking how things currently are and comfortable with everyday dots. Some protest these new dots. Some even claim they are invalid, or worse, are imaginary dots that don't even exist. Yet, it's these new dots that potentially change everything. What is the source of these new dots? Notions, unexpected connections, ideas, possibilities, and imagination. Fire was one of these dots. So was the wheel, and the bicycle, and the automobile, and the computer, as well as the internet, the smartphone, and the tablet. In fact, many of today's common dots were at one time uncommon, newly introduced dots. So what is innovation? Those other dots, the ones others miss, and having the certainty to know that the dots you see are not only valid, but necessary if the world is to move forward.
Yes. So I think, you saw the video just now, and the video was clearly able to explain what exactly is innovation. We see so many things around us. We see a water bottle, we see steel water bottles, we see plastic water bottles, and then we see mugs of different kinds. All these are today known to us. But at one point of time, it was all unknown, right? So what do they say in the video? It says that some of the known dots today are once uncommon. At one time, yes, it was uncommon. It was something unknown. And when you are able to look for these unknown dots, through it could be through notions, it could be through unexpected connections, it could be through various different ideas, it could be different possibilities that you have recognized, or it could be just out of your imagination, something you just imagine and then you feel like, yeah, I think this is possible, right? So all of these other dots that you are able to imagine or that you are able to come up with becomes innovation, right? Something that is uncommon, something that we have not seen till date. That is where you come up with innovation, right? So yeah. Now, first, let us look at the changing trends that are there around us. So just sit back and think. Previously, in the previous, business world, and in the current emerging market, in the previous market to the emerging market, what has changed? In the previous market, people wanted only creative and critical thinking. But whereas in the emerging market, you are asked for creativity, you are asked to have design thinking. Whereas in the previous market, it was all about rational decision making. People would take decisions based on, some numbers, and then, yeah, this is okay, let's take a decision. But then in today's world, in the emerging market, you see that decisions and ideas are taken emotionally. Now I'll give you an example of how emotional decisions are taken, or how emotion plays an important role in the emerging market. Look at your current day ads that come up. The ads that come up today, like for example, when you talk about the dairy milk ad, it promotes happiness, right? The ad itself comes out with an emotion. You just feel happy. You would have seen that Swiggy ad. In the Swiggy ad, there is this grandpa waiting in the house, and then he feels like having a sweet, and his wife, who's a grandmother, she says, no, 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 you have diabetes, you cannot have sweets. But what does the grandpa do? He takes out his mobile phone, and then he orders one jamun on Swiggy. And when the guy comes to deliver, he eats the sweet right at the doorstep, and then he goes inside. Emotion, right? So this is where emerging market is going towards. Back then, in the previous market, it was all about analytical. It was all based on numbers. Decisions were based on numbers. But then in the emerging market, it is about intuition. Yeah, I think this might work. I think this is what people want, right? Intuition, intuitive decision making. Back then, there was only engineering technology. But in the emerging market, look at the different kinds of technologies that that have come up. We have AI, we have IoT, VR, AR, blockchain, and then it is all different combinations of technology and manufacturing that is coming into picture. Whereas again, previously people wanted to function as one independent organization. But in the emerging market, it is all about collaboration. People want to collaborate. They don't, like, if you see now, you have industries or you have startups which are completely into just a digital marketing startup. You have another startup which is just vendor management. You have another startup which is probably only into recruitment. So if you start one firm, you can outsource a lot of things, because now in the current world, it is all about collaboration. You can run a company by just your idea and collaborating with so many other organizations, right? Whereas when you look at previous market, it was more about what we want to offer. More like, let's say, back in the days, you wanted to just make papers, that is printing papers, and that is what you wanted to offer. But in today's emerging market, it is more customer centric. So it is like what customers want from us. If you go to a printing press even today, you will be able to see that they are trying to come up with things. They are able to come up with more options to understand what their customers want from them. It could be different textures, it could be totally different ideas, it could be a combination of things where, when you open the card, there is music coming. All these different kind of things is what even it is happening in a printing press, for that matter. Whereas back then, it was the previous market was more about just business oriented. Yes, we are into business, we just want to make money, we want numbers. But in the emerging market, there is a lot of focus on the customer. That is, what can we do best for the customer? It is about giving the extra value to the customers, that customers will later go ahead and do the marketing for the company. Obviously, right, today when you go out and then you try some good food, you will go and tell your friends. You're like, yeah, the food is extremely good here, why don't you go and try? They even give an extra fries along with this food. And when you say that, that becomes a marketing for another person. So the emerging market is very customer focused, whereas in the previous market it was all like average quality wise, and then like relevance wise it was more like yeah, you know, this is what we want to offer, this is our product, you want, you take it, you don't want, you leave it. But then in the current market, if you see, it is all about relevance. You look at the kind of ads that come up, you look at the kind of products that are being made. I will tell you about this one product that I have kind of seen, which is very relevant. You know, these coffee cups, right? The paper coffee cups that we have. So usually when you pour hot coffee into it, the paper cup becomes very wobbly. So what they have done is, to the paper cup, they have attached a new, a cardboard handle to it, where you can just, hold it with one finger. And now that is where relevance comes into picture. You're making products based on how relevant they are to the current market. It is not about what you just want to offer. Why have you all gone to Miniso anytime? If you would have gone to Miniso, you will see a lot of products, n number of products. And all these products are made based on relevance, right? So relevance is what is going to take over in the emerging market. Back then, companies or businesses that came up, it was based on what capability you had. That is, you as a business owner, what capabilities you had. Based on that, you had companies that came up. But then in today's emerging market, it is about imagination. You imagine something, you feel, yeah, I think this is possible, and then you go into it. And the best example for imagination today is Elon Musk, right? Who could even imagine, what he did with SpaceX, right? The rocket would launch and then it would come back and it can be reused. Something that, nobody could have probably imagined. But he imagined and he made it possible. And today he says he has even bought a land in Mars, right? So that is where imagination is going to be the trend in the emerging market. Now, the last one here is, previously it was all about evolving. That is, let's take, for example, how music, how you could listen to music. It was in radio, and then it came to your MP3s, those small MP3 players. And then it came into, these touch MP3 players. And then after that, you had these Walkmans. You had Walkman, and then came MP3 players. And then you had these those CD players, and then you had your iPods, and then now it came into mobile phones itself. And now people don't even bother downloading music because it's all there on an application on your phone, right? So it was about evolving. But then look at the emerging market. Emerging market is about disrupting as in you disrupt what is already there. That is, when Airbnb came, Airbnb is called a disruptive innovation because they came and then they disrupted the industry, the hotel industry, because they said, now we will give you rooms at a cheaper price, and at the same time you will have a friend when you go to another country who's going to help you around, like a local friend. So that is disrupt. The same with Uber. Uber is also an example of disruptive innovation. Commuting today from point A to point B is extremely easy, right? We don't even have to think about it. So that is where we tell that the emerging market is about disruption. Now, let's go forward. Now, let's see, in terms of innovation, where are we headed to? So if you look at the current trends and where we are heading towards, you will see that Bluetooth connectivity, manufacturing technology, and online retail is producing a lot of products and services. You would have seen probably many companies have started, like many small startups have come on Instagram. They have started on Facebook Marketplace. And now Metaverse is a totally different place where, you can have your own, online setup of a retail store, and you can actually purchase things, right? So all of these is where we are headed to. The next one is 3D data in medical field. So generating newer possibilities and demands for different kinds of systems, products, and processes. So we have, we have seen how 3D printing is happening. But how about generating 3D data? There is a lot of research happening around this area where, let's say you have fractured your bone, okay? And then you go and take an X-ray. But when you have to take an X-ray, don't you think this is what happens? The doctor will, while taking the X-ray, they will twist your hand, they will turn it, and then, they'll tell you to keep your hand in a certain position, and your hand might hurt while doing that. But how about you just put your hand into a box, and then it generates a 3D data, and the doctor is able to study the 3D data completely and clearly tell you that, hey, you have a fractured bone here, and then we will have to treat you for it, instead of you having to hurt yourself while twisting and turning your hand to take different angles of a photo of your bone, right? So this is where 3D data is coming into into the medical field, and it is going to have a lot of possibilities. And the next one is something that we are all very familiar with, which is the no-touch approach. It is definitely creating newer opportunities. If you see today, there are, from 2020, from when the pandemic started to now, you would have seen a lot of innovations in this field already. And there are a lot of innovations that are going to come our way because of the no-touch approach, which happened because of COVID. But yes, it has given rise to a lot of newer opportunities. Whereas next is software and AI generated solutions. Today, artificial intelligence is kind of used in everything and anything, right? If you look at your own, I'm sure all of you have used Swiggy. When you open Swiggy and then let's say you have a complaint, right? You raise a complaint or you go and click on your help on Swiggy, the first few messages that come to you is AI generated. It is all based on AI. And, it should not be like someone is sitting behind the screen and continuously trying to help you until you really need some help. Customer relationship, customer service has become easier because of AI generated solutions. And at the same time, Alexa, your Siri, Google, all of these things is where your AI generated solutions have come. If you go and look at this video online, there is something called as a tour of a smart home, which is completely based on AI and IoT. You will see how AI is changing the way homes are being built today. Where, in a building or in a house, you just walk in and then, you can just tell the AC to be set at a certain temperature. You can tell, your fridge will tell you what all you need to order for, because, certain groceries are over in the refrigerator. So all these are where, your AI generated solutions are coming up. Whereas maintenance, service support, and DIY, do it yourself, is opening up huge possibilities. Now, do it yourself is something that I'm very interested in, because just, go on Amazon and you will be able to just order, let's say, a furniture, and the furniture comes to you in a small box. And when you open it, they would have given you a nice, like a manual, which tells you, okay, this is how you need to arrange things in this order. And then you can do it yourself. First is, you will also have a satisfaction that, hey, I have done something on my own. But at the same time, do it yourself is more like, like a very easier way of giving you simple products, right? Today you have cupboards, you have tables, you have chairs, all of this which are being given based on DIY. I'm sure you would have seen a lot of DIY videos also online. And this is definitely opening up huge possibilities where a lot of innovation can come into play. Next is there are huge possibilities in converting accumulated knowledge for the creation of new market. Now, this is an example where your accumulated knowledge of, let's say, design, your accumulated knowledge of, let's say, science, or accumulated knowledge of a certain technology, you use that knowledge into creation of a totally different market. Now, I can proudly say that that is something that even I have done. When I started InnovSmart Training and Development, I am the founder of InnovSmart, which is my company, where I used my knowledge of entrepreneurship, innovation, and design thinking to come up with a training and development firm where I offer different kinds of training programs based on my accumulated knowledge, right? It is creating a new market. I have created a new market for myself where I go and approach people who want design thinking training, who want innovation training, right? So that is where you can see there are huge possibilities that are coming up. And finally, there is ubiquitous computing, there is NFTs. NFTs is something I'm sure you all would have heard by now. And then there is AI, there is IoT, blockchain, and big data. So all of these things is what the future is all about. The future innovation is going to be in these fields, right? And today, a lot of people are just making a lot of money just sitting at home and investing in NFTs, right? So this is where your future innovation is going to happen. And this is one of my favorite quote, which says, innovation is the ability to see change as an opportunity and not as a threat. So if you see, like, if you just keenly read this once again, it says innovation is the ability to see change as an opportunity, but not as a threat. The biggest change I think that we all got to see was when the pandemic hit, right? When the pandemic hit, we all did not know immediately what to do, how to go about things, how are we even going to function. We had no clue about it. Some people, they were in a state of shock, but some people took it as an opportunity. And I'll tell you who are the ones who actually took it as an opportunity. These LMS learning platforms. You would have seen even in your own college, there are a lot of people who have come in and who have started, doing business in terms of selling their LMS platforms, learning management systems, online learning management systems, or online student portals. These people became extremely active because they saw this change as an opportunity, but not as a threat. The same way, there are a lot of companies who saw pandemic as an opportunity and not as a threat. People had no clue about Zoom, but Zoom became extremely important tool for people to function during the pandemic. So that is where you see a change as an opportunity, right? So yeah, we go forward and I will tell you some of the key innovations that we are able to see around us today. Amazon Go. Anybody who has heard of Amazon Go, you would have, if you have not heard of Amazon Go, I would say please go on YouTube and have a look at this video of Amazon Go. So they are basically reimagining retail shopping experience, where it's called the just walkout technology. You just walk into a store, you buy whatever you want, you put all the things that you want into your bag, and then you just walk out. And when you sit in your cab, or probably when you're walking to your house, you can make the payment for all the products that you have purchased, which will already be displayed on your Amazon on the go. So you don't have to wait in checkout lines. That is the technology that Amazon has come up with. The second one is designing of airports today. Look at what airports have to offer. Back in the days, when you would walk into an airport, it was just a plain airport with some waiting area, and then you just wait there and then go and board your flight. That is it. But in today's world, you look at airports, they have everything. They have sleeping pods, they have movie theaters, they have entertainment sectors, they have They have a shopping portal, they have a lot of eateries inside, they have experience centers. In fact, the Singapore airport even has a man-made forest inside the airport, and it is the number one airport in the world right now. And that is because airports are being designed to give travelers an experience during their waiting time. So, this is where there is a lot of innovation coming up. You want to do some innovation in these areas, go for it. I would say you should think of something, imagine something, and make it happen. Whereas the third one is packaging design. So, look at packaging design these days. I mean, your packaging has changed completely. How you would package a certain product and give it to your customer did not matter back in the days. But then today, your packaging, the way how compact you make your packaging is so important, for people to appreciate your actual product, right? So packaging design is something that is gaining a lot of scope right now in the current market. If you see your Apple phones or your Apple products, the very intricate work is done even into the packaging of each of their products, right? So that is just one example of packaging. But towards the end of the session, I will show you a product of which I really appreciate packaging of. The next one is, this is something I'm sure you all are very much aware of: smart homes, smart TVs, smart refrigerators, smart that, and smart this. You have smart LED lights, you have smart ACs. Everything is becoming smart. Your smart watches, right? So anything and everything is becoming technology combined, right? You're collaborating with technology and coming up with amazing solutions, so that it can reduce your human effort. So let's say it's 39 degrees outside and it's extremely hot, and I want to come into my house and then relax. And all I can do is I can have a smart AC in my house, and I can set the temperature to, let's say, 21 degrees when I'm in my car itself, and when I enter the house, it is already cool, reducing human effort, right? So same with smart refrigerators. I think the latest innovation that has come with refrigerator is this Samsung Curd Mastro. That is the latest one. I think you would have seen ads of it on TV as well, where you just, like, the refrigerator itself makes curds for you, set curds. Now, this is all where innovation is moving towards, and it is very surprising. But it is not that it is not possible. You just need to imagine it. You need to have an idea and to make it possible. That is it. The fifth one is the impact of social media. Tell me how many of you know people who have become extremely successful because of their social media presence. We see a lot of people who are, who are just doing business on, social media, who have started their business from scratch on social media, who have become world-renowned influencers on social media, right? People have created their own brands. They have found new ways to reach customers. They have reimagined their entire business because of social media. And that is where the world is going towards. Social media is definitely here to take over the emerging market. And finally, I would say electric vehicles. Today, I think all of us recognize that we are deteriorating our environment every day by using plastic, or by emitting CO2, right? We are just polluting our environment, and sometimes we won't even know what to do about it. But electric vehicles is one step towards making the environment a better place. But at the same time, you have a lot of sustainable and eco-friendly products that have come into place, right? You would have seen there are so many products which have come into picture which are non-plastic, and this is where your innovation can happen, where you come up with sustainable and eco-friendly products, and that is the innovation of the future. And there is definitely a lot of scope for it, because I see a lot of my friends who are working on sustainable products. It can be made out of jute or water hyacinth material, or so many of these waste products. All these are being used in making sustainable and eco-friendly products, which is again one of the future innovations that we can look forward to. Now, when we say innovation as a career opportunity, yes, there are roles that you can look for if you have taken up innovation as your majors. Then, which is what I did. I took up technopreneurship and innovation, where my master's is in this field of entrepreneurship, technology, and innovation. So, my the places where I can work, or the roles that I can take up, is I could be an innovation strategist, or I could be a product innovator, or I could be an innovation manager. But what actually is the major career that you can take up, or you can find an opportunity in, is being an entrepreneur. If you have been able to innovate, and if you have been able to come up with a totally new innovation, then the best thing that you can be is an entrepreneur. And I'll tell you, to be to be an entrepreneur, or to be familiar with innovation, it is not that skills are the only thing, or knowledge is the only thing that is important. Yes, you can sit back and study a lot of things. You can study about innovation, you can study about entrepreneurship, but what you most importantly need to to have a career in innovation, or to have a career in entrepreneurship, is the mindset. Because if you don't have a mindset for it, you cannot be an entrepreneur. And when you say mindset, these are the 5 important things that I feel you need to have, to have a right mindset for innovation. So first is curiosity. From when we were children, we have stopped questioning. When we were children, we would question everything, right? You can probably see your nieces or nephews. What do? They come to you and they will ask you questions. They're like, why is this here? What is that? What is this? But then as we grow, and as we start getting knowledge from books, or from from our studies, we stop questioning things. But if you stop questioning, then there won't be innovation. You should be able to question the reality. You should be able to question things around you. You should have curiosity for things. Curiosity is the first and the foremost thing that you need for innovation. The second one is mindfulness. Mindfulness is basically where you're completely aware of your surroundings, but you're focused on one thing. That is being mindful. Whereas the third thing is, you need to have a growth mindset. Growth mindset is where you don't want to sabotage the other person next to you. You don't want to hamper another person's growth, but you would rather want to grow by yourself, and you want to grow by taking other people forward with you. It should not be like, oh, only I want to run forward, only I want to grow. It should be more like, let's grow together. That is a growth mindset. The fourth one is, you need to have excellent communication skills. Because in today's world, if you do not know how to talk to people, if you do not know how to network and socialize with people, you cannot have a business. You cannot be an entrepreneur. Because being an entrepreneur clearly means you need to know how to network with people, right? So if you do not have good communication skills, it is very important. It becomes very difficult for you, to have a career towards entrepreneurship or towards innovation. And the last one is collaborative mindset. Collaborative mindset is where, you should be able to welcome ideas from all kinds of people. You should be able to, recognize and be able to welcome other people into your business, right? That is where you have collaborative mindset, without judging people, without putting them down or putting their ideas down, respecting all kinds of ideas. I have a small story to tell when we talk about collaborative mindset, is that there was this one boy, right? There was a small boy. He was just walking towards his house after he finished his school, and what happened was there's a very there's a very busy road, and right above the busy road there is a bridge. Okay, so just under the bridge on this busy road comes a very huge a huge vehicle, like a heavy vehicle, which is carrying a truck which carries all these cars, right? It is very high, and then because the height is so high, it gets stuck under the bridge. And now when it is stuck under the bridge, what happens is that since it is a busy road, there are a lot of vehicles because it is connecting two parts of a city. And now there's a lot of traffic, there's a lot of chaos, and the mayor of that area, he comes and then he addresses the situation. He's like, okay, what do we do? How do we get rid of this vehicle? Do we have to break open the vehicle? Because there are vehicles in the front, there are vehicles at the back. Now, how are we going to address this situation? So what happened was, he called the best of the best engineers. He called the best of the best people, best minds from his city to come up with a solution for that problem, because there was a lot of traffic and it had extended throughout the city now. What happened was, this boy who was standing across the street, he kept looking at the situation, and he was a small boy, you can say probably about 5th standard going kid. And then he was just looking from far. He saw the chaos and he saw that, people were trying to do a lot of different things. And then he went up to the mayor and he said, "Sir, I have a solution." And the mayor said, "Listen, you're a very small boy. I don't want you to risk yourself because they are going to break open the entire truck right now. You might get hurt. You don't have to come here. Please go home." And then the boy says, no, I know I have a solution over here. You don't even have to break open the vehicle." And the mayor says, no, you're still a very small boy. Just go home. And then the boy still insists. The boy says, "No, sir, please listen to me." And the mayor is like, okay, fine. You tell me what is your solution. And the boy says, "Why don't you deflate the wheels, the air from the wheels? You can just deflate the wheels, and then the truck will come down from a certain height, and then you can pull the truck forward, and after that you can again inflate the tires, and then your problem is solved." Can you see how simple of a solution a young boy could give you, when so many engineers who had so much of knowledge could not think of it? Sometimes we fail to see the simple things. And that is why you need to have a collaborative mindset. You need to be able to welcome ideas from anybody and everybody. You need to be able to ask questions to people. You need to be able to respect different perspectives of people. That is a collaborative mindset. Whereas finally, we look at the skills. So to be in this field, or to have a career in the field of entrepreneurship and innovation, you need to have problem-solving skills. You need to have creativity, reasoning skills, adaptability. You should be able to adapt to different kinds of situation, different environments, different people, right? You need to be able to be adaptable, and you need to have leadership skills. Leadership is where, it is not having a command over people. No, that is not what leadership means. Leadership means to be able to lead a group of people and to work along with them collaboratively. That is leadership. And finally, you need to have the willingness to accept failure. And honestly, before I started InnoSmart, I had another company which was called Caters in Food Tech Private Limited. We were an aggregator for caterers in Bangalore. We functioned exactly like Swiggy. We used to take up bulk orders. We were an e-commerce platform. But just when the pandemic hit, right? The pandemic posed a very big threat on the business because ours was into bulk orders, and people could not gather at all. So I had to close down my company, and that was a very huge failure that that I kind of took time to accept. But you need to have the willingness to accept failure. If you do not have the willingness to accept failure, then entrepreneurship is it's going to be very difficult. Failure and risk is a part of being an entrepreneur, and it is still a very good learning experience. It is very motivating, and if you succeed, then there is nothing like it. There is you are your own boss, you get to lead your own business, you get to run your own thing, and it is all based on your ideas, right? So that is something extremely motivating about being an entrepreneur and to choose innovation as a field. Finally, this is where I would end my time of speaking with you people by saying empathy is the key to all future innovations. And this is something that I strongly believe in, is because when you have empathy, you tend to empathize with people around you. And when you have empathizing nature, you will probably try to understand what another person is going through, what are their problems, what are what are their pains, and how you can come up with solutions to answer their pains, is where your innovation is going to be is going to be a key, right? So you try to understand the pain of one person, and then you see that, yeah, this is a repetitive thing that happens with a group of people. You come up with an innovation for that, and you have a new product in the market, right? So if you see today, all the products that we see, or the products that are coming up in today's world, it is based on empathy. They empathize with the users, they understand the users thoroughly, they try to know what is it that the user is feeling, and then they design or they come up with a solution that the user is going to appreciate, right? So empathy is definitely the key to all future innovations. And finally, I would like to say thank you. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak to all of you and share my knowledge on innovation. So, yes, any questions, you can ask me your questions.
Thank you, ma'am. Any questions?
Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
Hello. Yeah, ma'am. This is Gokul from final year, and I have one
Okay.
question. Like, how do you support the student from your branch? Like, how the IIC is going on to the innovation and technology?
This is a question to Soumya ma'am then.
No, ma'am. Like, okay.
Like, you are asking how IIC is going to help with innovation, right?
Yeah,
Innovation
ma'am.
and entrepreneurship. Yeah. So, Soumya ma'am, I think you will have to answer this question about IIC.
Gokul, so as we all are professionals, architects, and all, we have ideas to, definite place and make a career out of it, then I think sites on it, right? We as professional institutions guide you to think about architecture and all these aspects. But if you want to make a career and want to establish yourself independently, then you need these guidance, right? And IIC will help you do it. I hope it's answered.
Yes, ma'am. Like, uh, just okay. The guide, just they will guide us, but like in which way? I just want to know. Like, is it like from an initial stage or like?
Vishal,
Yeah.
can I take this? You
Yeah, yeah,
don't
ma'am.
mind?
Sure, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. So there's a good question actually. When they are talking the Ministry of Education, now it's talking about. You're able to hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Ah. So it's coming up with new education policy, which is innovation based. They feel that everybody is talented. Okay, one guidance, one push is required for that. Okay, so there for all the professional colleges or the other degree colleges also, I'm not sure about that. They say like teachers are supposed to work in parallel with practice so that they can transfer that knowledge or make students come out with innovative ideas, okay, and help them do the startup and take it forward, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
That is the growth plan of the country also.
Ma'am, I have one
So,
question. Like,
so
yeah.
when we are working on a project, okay, you are good at creating some detailings, micro to macro detailings. Say a door, you want to create a door in a different way, a different material. As a teacher or a mentor, we would recognize that we'll allow you to take it forward, patent that idea, okay, and help you start up your own setup. For that, we are trained under IIC as innovation ambassadors, and they have told us, they have trained us like how we can guide or we ourselves start up a company with innovative ideas like that, with a product or some design takeaway. It's like that in the current world. So empathy, as ma'am said, is the keyhole for any innovation. We have to think empathetically and start working. Okay. So if you have created something like that, a screw, a nut, a bolt, or a pencil holder, which works better, right?
Yes, ma'am.
You can take it to the next level. You can start selling that, patent it and start selling that product or your design. Hope.
Because innovation takes like a time, which when we collaborate with the college academy works and all, so it will back off. Like the college works and all will be in the pending, or innovation will be pending. So how this is going to be support for the student in the future? Like,
They have given provision for that, Vishal. They say like you can take a 6 months break from your academics, work on your innovation, achieve it, complete it, and then take up your course, continue with your course. So that provision they've given actually.
thanks, ma'am.
You so you can do the innovation along with your studies. Okay, you can patent it also and you can market it also.
So in the patenting and all, will college will support or
Yes,
will
yes,
fund?
yes. Unless until you are the student in the
Okay.
college, then the college will support you for everything, and your mentors will support you for everything. In the government guidance, yes,
Yeah.
there will be funding also.
Okay. Thanks, ma'am.
Any questions?
So about patent, I would say there is a scheme, Kapila scheme, and if you collaborate with a college and work on a patent, then submit it to Kapila. They're going to reimburse the 50% of the money to you back. And that's, I think, a good incentive for you guys to come up with new ideas, right? And it's not just Gokul Vishal, but I, request everyone to come up with ideas like this, and our IIC will help you take it up forward. Will help you collaborate with people. Will help you, in taking your idea itself forward, and that way IIC can be of use.
Any questions for Vindhya ma'am or Sandhya ma'am? Anybody? All right, Soumya ma'am, you can go through the thanks.
Okay,
Thank you.
so I'll be now
Thank you all.
presenting the vote of thanks. Something very new and very different. We rarely find someone to actually say how to do it. And with that said, in today's session, we have gained a lot of insights on possibilities and options to make a career towards innovation and entrepreneurship. Our speakers, being professionals and field experts, have done a remarkable presentation today. And so I, on behalf of everyone, thank Professor Sandhya and Professor Vindhya for very systematically laying the framework on the topic. It was an interesting session, and I thank you for accepting and doing this for us. Further, I thank our institute, the management director and founder principal Rekha ma'am for her constant encouragement and leadership in taking IIC initiatives forward. She's right now not present in the meeting because she has another meeting to attend, but I thank on behalf. Deep gratitude to Dr. Gayatri ma'am and Nandita ma'am. They are the ISC technical coordinators and uh, organizers for this event. Without them, this event could not have been possible. Also, I thank IIC student coordinators, IIC members. I thank the technical support, Rakesh sir, Revan sir, Kumar sir, who have been involved in the whole process of making this happen. I acknowledge all the faculties and the wonderful students for joining and engaging with us today. Today's session would have helped you set your goals and vision on track. Thank you very much.
Thank you all. Thank you, Soumya ma'am. It was a wonderful evening. Thank you, Sandhya ma'am and Vindhya ma'am.
Thank you all.
See you. Thank you.